Hey guys, it's MMA Vulture coming at you live with UFC Fight Night, Moicano versus Saint Denis weigh-in recap, as well as my final predictions for this week's bouts. And we're gonna go ahead and jump right to the first bout of the night, being Bolaji Oki versus Chris Duncan. And my pick for this bout is Chris Duncan. I am going with the underdog. I think that he's a more seasoned fighter. I know he only has a couple more fights than Bolaji Oki. I think that Chris Duncan has the clear grappling advantage, as well as he does have decent boxing. I think he's going to fare well with Bolaji Oki on the feet. I think Bolaji Oki is going to have the speed advantage on the feet, as well as he's going to have the hands advantage. I think he's going to be a lot quicker, a lot speedier, but I think that Chris Duncan's smother pressure heavy fight style is going to aid him in the speed difference. I think that he's going to walk Bolaji Oki down. I think that he's going to take him down to the ground where he has the ultimate grappling advantage. And I think that Chris Duncan maintains control of you really well when he gets you down to the ground. He did pick apart Ashmus in his fight against him. He has strong takedowns, and he looks really good in the clinch. I think that Chris Duncan can ultimately get it done. I think Bolaji Oki still needs to prove himself a little bit. In his fight against Coamba, he did get taken down by him, and Coamba is a featherweight. I think that in that fight, it was supposed to be Bolaji Oki steamrolling over him, really showing off his skills, but it was actually a tough fight in which it was a split decision. I think it was a unanimous decision. I think Bolaji Oki clearly won that fight, but either way, it showed that he doesn't have the greatest takedown defense, and he lacks in the grappling department. And I think that Chris Duncan is a seasoned fighter that has good grappling and could use that to his advantage and could ultimately take Bolaji Oki down, which is what I think is going to happen. I think Chris Duncan is going to maintain control of Bolaji Oki, smother him, make him uncomfortable, and ultimately take him to the ground and outstrike him and overwhelm a Bolaji Oki who I think is a little bit overhyped. Give me Chris Duncan to beat Bolaji Oki. And we're going to go ahead and look at them on the scales. Here we have Chris Duncan. And he looks healthy. He's looking jacked. He's looking ready for war. Got the face paint on. And we're going to go ahead and look at Bolaji Oki here. Looking strong, looking jacked. And let's go ahead and look at the face-off here. Look at these two here. And if you notice, Chris Duncan actually looks slightly taller than Bolaji Oki, and he looks a little bit wider. I'm liking Chris Duncan over Bolaji Oki. I really am. I think he's going to be the better fighter in this bout. Let's go ahead and look at the odds on this fight. So Bolaji Oki is sitting at a negative 185, and Chris Duncan is sitting right around a plus 160. And Chris Duncan is live. I'm telling you, I really do like Chris Duncan to beat Bolaji Oki. I think that he does it via decision. I do think that this goes over in rounds. I like the over 1.5 at 185. You're getting good odds on that. I also like the over 2.5 at plus 100. You're getting great odds on that. I really think that another prop that could hit is Duncan to win by decision, sitting at plus 350. I really think that Duncan could win this via decision. I think that he could take him down, like I said, overwhelm him, and just maintain control of Bolaji Oki on the ground and just beat him via decision. Moving right along to our next bout, in which is Nora Cornolle versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. And again, this is a rematch, just like I said previously. And I don't think anything really has changed. Jacqueline Cavalcanti beat her in their previous fight. I think that she's going to beat her again. Give me Jacqueline Cavalcanti to beat Nora via decision. I think that Cavalcanti's patient, super quick fighting style is going to help her. I think she's a good boxer who likes to strike from the outside, which is going to help her keep Nora at bay. And I think that her amazing footwork is going to help her find those selective shots and pick apart Nora Cornolle and ultimately beat her via decision. I think that Nora Cornell's grappling is decent. Her takedown defense is mediocre because she got out grappled by Jocelyn Edwards in her bout. I think that Cavalcanti has better grappling. I think that she's also going to be the better striker. I think Cornolle is dangerous on the feet. She is a power puncher, but I think that Cavalcanti is going to beat Nora. I think she's getting better each and every fight, and we're going to see that here in this fight come tomorrow. Give me Jacqueline Cavalcanti to beat Nora via decision. And let's go ahead and look at them on the scales. We got Jacqueline Cavalcanti here first. She's looking jacked, looking healthy, smiling on the scales. And then we have a Nora Cornolle on the scales, looking jacked, looking happy. Her tattoos look sick. I do like her tattoos. I think Jacqueline Cavalcanti is going to win this. Let's look at the face-off. Cavalcanti noticeably taller. And she's going to have a slight reach advantage. I think Cavalcanti is going to outstrike her from the outside, overwhelm and pressure her and beat her. I think she's going to be the all-around better fighter over Nora. I think Nora's old age is going to get to her. I think she's going to be a little bit slower than Cavalcanti. I think that Cavalcanti's takedown defense is going to look good, and I think that she's going to outstrike and outwork a Nora Cornolle. Let's go ahead and look at the odds on this fight. Cavalcanti's coming in at a -200, and Cornolle is coming in at a +170. I like Cavalcanti. I really think that she's going to beat Nora. I like in the overs, you're really not getting much value in the -700 and -410. I do see this obviously going the distance. I like Cavalcanti to win by decision. Right here, sitting at a -135, -150. I really do like Cavalcanti to win by decision. I think that's how she beats Nora. I think she outstrikes her, overwhelms her, beats her every round on the feet and in the grappling department. Give me Jacqueline Cavalcanti to beat Nora. And we're going to go ahead and move right along to the next bout, in which we have a kind of coin flip in Daniel Barez versus Victor Altamirano. And in this, I'm going to have to go with Daniel Barez. He's a slight underdog at +110, and Victor Altamirano is going to have the grappling advantage. He's a decent striker on the feet. He is overall a all-right mediocre fighter, in my opinion. I think he looked all right in his bout against Felipe Dos Santos on the feet. I think that he's more of a pressure-heavy wrestler. I think that Daniel Barez is going to fare well on the feet. I think he's going to have the obvious striking advantage. He has dangerous striking, in my opinion. I think that he has legit boxing. He mixes up his shots really well, and I think if he mixes up his shots to the body against somebody like Victor Altamirano, that could help him in winning this fight. I think his leg kicks as well to the body. I think he really just has to mix up his shots very well against Victor Altamirano. I think that Barez has decent takedown defense. I think he's going to be able to fare well in the grappling department against somebody like Victor Altamirano, because I think that Victor Altamirano's grappling is good, but it's kind of mediocre. I think that Daniel Barez is going to be able to fare well in the grappling department, but outshine Victor on the feet, and I think that's where he's going to shine, and I think he could ultimately beat Victor. I'm going to say via decision. I don't see him. He could get a knockout because of his power. He does have that legit knockout power, but I think that this goes the distance. and give me Daniel Barez to beat Victor Altamirano via decision. And let's go ahead and look at them on the scales. Here we go. We have Victor Altamirano on the scale. Looking jacked, looking ready for war, holding up the fist. And then we have Daniel Barez. He's looking healthy, looking ready. He's got the little butt chin like Peter Griffin. Moving right along, let's look at their face-off. As you can see, Victor Altamirano is a little bit taller. I think he has a slight reach advantage as well, but I think Daniel Barez is going to be able to close the distance very well. I think that Victor Altamirano is going to have a hard time maintaining the distance and trying to shoot for those takedowns. I think Barez is going to be able to shine in the grappling. I think Altamirano is a mediocre grappler, and we're going to see Daniel Barez outwork and outshine a Victor Altamirano. Again, this is a coin flip, in my opinion. By no means do I think that this is a confident pick, but I'm going Daniel Barez. And let's go ahead and look at the fight odds on this. Daniel Barez sitting right at a plus 110, and Victor Altamirano sitting at a negative 130. Again, like I said, not a confident pick, but I do think this goes over. I like the overs in this. Over 2.5 at negative 285. I think that Barez, let's look at the knockout. I don't really think he can knock him out. It's sitting at a plus 600. He does have that knockout power, though. Remember that. But I think that this does go all 3 rounds. But give me Daniel Barez to beat a Victor Altamirano. And let's go ahead and look at the next bout of the card in Ailin Perez versus Daria. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Yeah, I can't. And in this fight is a little weird because coming to the scales, Ailin Perez looked awful. She had the shake. She actually came in a half pound overweight, and it really did change my perspective on this fight. I was already kind of hesitant coming in on this fight. I really wasn't too sure on Ailin Perez, but this just makes me feel even worse on my pick on her. I really think that Daria could get this done. I'm going to stick with Ailin Perez, but I think that by no means is this, again, a confident pick. I think Ailin Perez, if she can get the takedowns, will end up beating a Daria. But if she can't get the takedowns, I think Daria takes this fight and wins it on the feet. I think she has the better boxing. I think Ailin is a decent boxer with legit power, but shines in the grappling department. And if she can get Daria down, she can maintain control of her really well. And I think Ailin Perez can beat her if she can get her to the ground. I think Ailin Perez still beats Daria, but by no means do I think that that is a confident pick. If you're betting on Ailin Perez, I would pray, man. Let's go ahead and look at their look at them on the scales. Here's Daria on the scales. She's looking jacked, looking healthy. She's looking ready for war against Ailin. Ailin looking good. She doesn't look like she did previously, but she was shaking, like she had the hard shakes. She looked like she was about to pass out. She looked awful on the scales previously, and it really does worry me. I'm still going to stick with my guns on Ailin Perez, but by no means do I feel comfortable. And let's look at them facing off. Intense face-off between these two. And let's go ahead and look at the odds between these two. Ailin Perez sitting at a negative 205 and Daria sitting at a plus 185 or plus 175. And the over is sitting at a negative 500 for over 1.5, over 2.5, negative 285. I like the overs in this. I think that it goes the distance. I think Ailin Perez, if she can get the takedowns, like I said, gets the better of Daria. But if she can't land those takedowns and Daria's takedown defense looks good and she can keep up with Ailin's grappling, I think that she pulls off the tough tough decision over Ailin Perez if she can keep her off the ground, keep the bout off the ground. And let's go ahead and look at this. Ailin Perez wins inside the distance, sitting at plus 325. Zhelezniakova sitting at a plus 500. I think that if you guys, like I said, if you have Ailin Perez, you better pray, man. I really am not confident in this pick, but I'm still sticking with Ailin Perez. And we're going to go ahead and move right along to the next bout, in which we have Taylor Lapilus versus Vince Morales. And this is an interesting fight, man. I've been sticking with Taylor Lapilus this whole time, and I'm going to do it again. I think Taylor Lapilus beats Vince Morales. I really do. I think that he is the better, more technical fighter out of the two. I think that he has the better boxing. I think he's got snappy leg kicks. He's got great grappling, or decent grappling. I think he's got good takedown defense. He's got quick get-ups. If he bursts to his feet really well when he's on taken down, I think he outstrikes and overwhelms Vince Morales. I really do. If you are on the Vince Morales, I know he looks like an intriguing underdog coming off of a 5-win fight streak. But man, I think that Taylor Lapilus should run through Vince Morales. I think that he should beat Vince Morales easily. I think he's the more clean and technical fighter out of the two. I think that Vince's pressure fighting, I know he likes to smother you, but I think that's not going to really work against Taylor Lapilus. I think he's going to be the stronger fighter. I think that he's not going to be able to bully Lapilus around. I do know Vince has nasty, nasty submissions, but I think he's going to have trouble getting to those submissions with somebody like Taylor Lapilus. Give me Taylor Lapilus to beat Vince Morales. I really do think that he's going to outstrike and overwhelm a Vince Morales. And let's go ahead and look at them on the scales. Not to mention, Lapilus does have a reach advantage. And let's look at Vince Morales on the scale. He's looking jacked. He's looking healthy. I don't really fuck with his hairstyle, but, you know, that's him. Half black, half blonde hair. Might as well just dye it one hole. And then we got Taylor Lapilus looking jacked and looking healthy as ever, ready for war. I'm really excited for this fight. I think that Taylor Lapilus is going to show that he is the man. I think he's going to run over somebody like Vince Morales. I'm really hyped for this fight. I really am. And we're going to go ahead and jump right to the odds, in which Taylor Lapilus is sitting at a negative 365. And Vince Morales is sitting right around a plus 290. Man, I like Taylor Lapilus negative 400. You're still getting good value with the negative 400. I like him as a parlay piece. I really think that he for sure gets it done against somebody like Vince Morales. I really do like him as a parlay piece. Over, I see this going over. Not really much value in the over 1.5, negative 650. Negative 350 in the over 2.5. Not much value, really. I like Taylor Lapilus to win via decision. I really do. Sitting at a negative 165. I think Lapilus, win by decision is live. I really do. I think that's the best bet here. I like him for decision, and then you could put him for parlays, his money line. As far as that, because he's at negative 400. And that's it for that one. Let's go ahead and look at the next bout, in which we have our featured prelim in Ludovit Klein versus Roosevelt Roberts. And, I mean, dude, there's really only one way to go with this, and it's Ludovit Klein. I think he's going to absolutely demolish Roosevelt Roberts, in my opinion. I know that Roosevelt Roberts is a little bit taller and has a very, very slight reach advantage. But I think that Ludovit Klein is going to be able to close the distance, and he's the more powerful and quick fighter. He is the cleaner quick fighter. He has powerful hands. He has great grappling to go along with his great striking. I think he's an all-around great fighter. He's a check all the boxes type of fighter. He is great. He has strong takedowns. I think that he bullies Roosevelt Roberts on the feet and on the in the grappling department. I think Roosevelt Roberts is a mediocre fighter. I think he has decent boxing. I think he leaves his head on the line way too much, leaving him to getting hit in the face a lot and getting caught a lot. He maintains distance kind of well because of his long reach and his long length. He does lack grappling. I think that Ludovit Klein has the clear grappling advantage, like I said. I think that Roosevelt Roberts' grappling is really mediocre. His takedown defense is all right. I think that Ludovit Klein is going to absolutely run over Roosevelt Roberts. I'm thinking that this ends via knockout. I think Ludovit Klein's power is going to shine right here. I think he's going to want to strike on the feet. I think he's going to want to show that he can strike, and he's going to knock out Roosevelt Roberts. I think Roosevelt Roberts is a little bit chinny, and give me Ludovit Klein to knock out Roosevelt Roberts. Let's go ahead and look at their pictures here. As we see, Roosevelt Roberts looking tall, lengthy, skinny, and still looking healthy, though. He's looking ready for war. And let's go ahead and look at Ludovit Klein, looking absolutely jacked, healthy, ready for war. I think he absolutely runs over Roosevelt Roberts. And let's look at them here facing off. Obviously, Roosevelt Roberts has the obvious height advantage. I think this is going to be a great fight in which we're going to see Ludovit Klein showcase his striking, and I think he's going to knock out Roosevelt Roberts. I truly do. I think Roosevelt Roberts is a little bit chinny, and we're going to see that. Let's go ahead and jump over to the odds on this match. And where are the odds? I'm obviously blind. Okay. Ludovit Klein sitting at a negative 950. Roosevelt Roberts sitting at a plus 650. Ludovit Klein, man, I for sure think he's an easy W in this. I really do. I think negative 950, put him in a parlay. I think it for sure hits. I like the under 2.5 sitting at a negative 175. I love those odds. I really do think that this goes under. I think Ludovit Klein gets him out of there, and I think you're getting great value with the negative 175. Another thing I do like is Ludovit Klein to win via knockout. And that is sitting right around a negative 115, negative 120. And if you don't really like to go with like knockout, or maybe you think he's going to get a submission because he has the obvious grappling advantage, you could go with something like Klein to win inside the distance at negative 190, negative 175. I do like those odds. I think that maybe if you don't want to take as much risk going for something in particular like knockout or submission, take the safe route, go with Klein to win inside the distance. I think there's a lot of value in the Klein to win inside distance along with the under 2.5 on the rounds. I think that he runs over somebody like Roosevelt Roberts, who is a mediocre fighter. Give me Ludovit Klein to beat Roosevelt Roberts easily. And we're going to go ahead and jump to the next bout, in which we have Oumar Sy versus Woon Jung. And man, oh man, this is a interesting fight. I know a lot of people are a little bit sus on the Woon Jung side, and rightfully so. I think that Oumar Sy is going to demolish Woon Jung. And don't get me wrong, Woon Jung has decent striking. He does have a powerful right hook, and he is a power striker. He does mix up his shots really well. I think he's a little bit chinny. I think he lacks a ground game because he notably got owned by Olderberg on the ground, and he's a mid-level grappler. I think Oumar Sy is going to use that grappling advantage and immediately shoot for a takedown. Immediately. I think he is going to take him down each and every round. I think that Oumar Sy has good boxing with a quick, stiff jab, but I think the main department that we have to look at is the grappling department. I think that he's a tall, lengthy fighter that's going to use his grappling to hold Dewang Jung down and maintain control and just use his strong takedowns to get him down. He is going to keep Dewang Jung down and not let him get up and overwhelm and make him completely uncomfortable. I think Oumar Sy is live for a submission here. I really do think he's live to get Dewang Jung out of there via submission. And let's go ahead and look at these two on the scales. Look at Dewang Jung looking happy, looking healthy on the scales, looking actually jacked as hell on the scales. And I'm excited for this fight. I think that this could be a banger fight. I'm going to be honest. I think that this could be a back and forth fight. I think that Oumar Sy is a beast. And let's look at them facing off. Intense face-off right here. Guy in the middle looks scared. But overall, this is going to be a great, great fight. Let's look at the odds on this fight, in which we have Oumar Sy sitting at a negative 625 and Dewang Jung sitting at a plus 450. Give me Oumar Sy to beat Dewang Jung. Again, you could throw him in a parlay. I really see him beating Dewang Jung for sure. In terms of the over-under, man, I think that this goes over 1.5 but under 2.5. I think that Oumar Sy could find that neck, could find that arm, and ultimately get somebody like Dewang Jung out of there. And that is my call. I think that Oumar Sy could get him via submission, and that's sitting at a plus 130. That's my call. I think that he could submit him I'd say late second. I think late second he could submit him. I think Oumar Sy gets the submission over somebody like Dewang Jung. If he has any trouble on the feet, he's going to resort to his grappling. But I think that in terms of on the feet, I think that they're going to be evenly matched on the feet. And then in terms of grappling, Oumar Sy has the clear grappling advantage, and that's what he's going to use to his advantage to get the W. Give me Oumar Sy to beat Dewang Jung. And let's go ahead and move along to the next bout, in which is another super interesting matchup in Ian Cutelaba versus Ivan Erslan. And man, oh man, I've been going back and forth on this fight, and I really think that this could be a sleeper fight on the card. I really do. I think that Ivan Erslan, coming out of KSW, is a good boxer with a decent grappling base. I think that Cutelaba is going to have the grappling advantage, but I think that Erslan's still going to fare well in that department. I think that he has the striking advantage. I know Cutelaba is a seasoned fighter that is a decent, mediocre fighter, in my opinion. I think Ivan Erslan can get this done. I think he's the more dangerous fighter on the feet. I think that he's less chaotic than somebody like Cutelaba, who sometimes swings a little bit wild. I think that he's got great fast kicks. He likes to brawl, and I think that he could end up chinning somebody like Cutelaba. I think Ivan Erslan is going to beat Cutelaba. Give me Ivan Erslan to beat him, and let's go ahead and look at them on the scales. Look at Ivan Erslan looking like an absolute jacked machine on the scales. Looking ready for war. And let's go ahead and look at Cutelaba. Same thing, looking absolutely jacked, looking ready for war, screaming at the top of his lungs, it looks like. Man, I think that this is going to be a great, great fight between these two. I think Ivan Erslan is going to get the better of Cutelaba. I think that he could chin him. Let's go ahead and look at the odds. I'm hyped for this fight. Cutelaba sitting at a negative 101 and Ivan Erslan sitting at a negative 119. I like Ivan Erslan. I'm not too confident in him, but I really do think that he could chin Cutelaba. I like the over or under. This one's a tricky fight. I honestly think that this is going to go over. I like the over 1.5 sitting at a plus 125. I think that over is good, but I do think that Ivan Erslan is live to chin Cutelaba. Let's go ahead and look at that. Erslan to win by knockout is sitting right at a plus 140, plus 130. Same with Cutelaba. I think that if anybody wins this via knockout, it's going to be Erslan. I think he's going to be the more powerful striker, and I think he's more. I think that Cutelaba is the chinnier person here, and that is my call. Erslan to knock out Ian Cutelaba. And we're going to go ahead and jump to the next bout, in which we have Fares Ziam versus Matt Favola. And we already know what I'm going with on this one. Give me the dog money in Matt Favola to beat somebody like Fares Ziam. I think that Ziam is a point fighter that likes to strike from the outside, has a quick, stiff jab. He has good calf kicks. He's a decent grappler. I think he lacks in the grappling department. I think that he is going to have the striking advantage here against Matt Favola, but I think that Matt Favola, don't get him twisted. I think he's still a good boxer that has quick hands. He has the notable power advantage over Siam. I think that he has the heavier hands. He closes distance very well. He has the obvious grappling advantage. I think that Matt Favola is going to be able to take down Siam with ease. I think he's strong in the clinches. I think that his way to win this against somebody like Ziam is turn this into a dirty boxing match, a dirty fight. I think that he fares very well on the inside against somebody like Ziam. I think that he could, if he has any trouble in terms of striking on the feet with Ziam, I think that he moves to his grappling, and I think he overwhelms and makes Ziam very uncomfortable and just takes him down and smothers him and maintains control very well. Give me Matt Favola to steamroll right over Fares Ziam. No, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's going to steamroll. I think this is going to be a good, close, back-and-forth bout, but I think Matt Favola gets the W via decision over somebody like Fares Ziam, who is a point fighter. And let's go ahead and look at them on the scales. And look at Matt Favola. He's looking happy, looking ready for war. And let's go ahead and look at Fares Ziam, in which he does have a significant height advantage. Let's go ahead and check them, look at them on their face-off. He has the notable height advantage as well as a reach advantage. But I don't think that's going to it's going to work against somebody like Matt Favola, who is a quick, speedy fighter who knows how to get in and out and maintain distance really well. I think that, again, if he has any trouble on the feet against somebody like Ziam, who likes to point fight and strike from the outside and maintain distance, I think that he uses his grappling and takes him down and makes him very uncomfortable. Give me Matt Favola. And let's look at the odds right here. Matt Favola coming in at a plus 113. Fares Ziam coming in at a negative 133. And something I do want to say is I really do see this fight going over. I think that if it does go under, I think it's Favola knocking out Fares Ziam or even locking up a submission. But I think that this goes to the decision. I think there's a lot of value in the over 1.5 as well as the over 2.5 sitting at a negative 145. Over 1.5 is sitting at a negative 275. I like Matt Favola at plus money for money line as well as him to win via decision. I think that there is a lot of money in that. Favola to win by decision is sitting at a plus 250. I think that's very, very live. I really do think that these two are great competitors on both sides that aren't chinny and are highly skilled fighters, and I think that this goes to decision, and I think Favola beats a Fares Ziam in a tough brawl till the end. Give me Matt Favola to beat Fares Ziam via decision. And we're going to go ahead and move right along to the next bout in Morgan Jara versus Gabriel Miranda. And I'm going with Morgan Chade. I think that he is the better fighter. I think that Gabriel Miranda is a decent boxer that sometimes looks a little clunky and awkward on the feet. I think that he throws some looping wild shots sometimes. I think he is a good grappler with great submission threats. I think that Morgan Chihada is just a better, cleaner, technical fighter. I think he's the better striker on the feet. I think he has a quick, clean jab. He has the knockout power to go along with it. He has decent grappling, strong takedown defense. You want a close split decision against Chepe? I think he's the guy to beat Gabriel Miranda. I think that he is the guy up next. I like Morgan Chada. I think he's a great, clean, technical fighter that is good on the feet and in the grappling department. I think that we could see him beat a Gabriel Miranda via decision. Honestly, I think that these two are going to go rounds. And let's look at them on the scales. Gabriel Miranda looking happy, looking healthy, looking jacked on the scales. I fuck with his tattoos. He looks good on the scales. Let's look at Morgan, though. Morgan looking happy, looking jacked, looking ready for war. Look at his sick tattoo. Man, I am hyped for this fight as well. I'm just ready for these fights come Saturday. Look at them facing off. Gabriel has a slight height advantage, but I think Morgan is going to get it done. Let's go ahead and look at the odds on this. And Morgan is sitting right around a -700. Gabriel is sitting at a +500. I think that Morgan Chada is going to get rid of Gabriel Miranda. And I think that this goes over. I like the over 1.5. I think that I really do see this going to decision. I think that you're going to have a lot of value in the over 1.5. I think it gets a little bit riskier going for the over 2.5. I think that Chada could find that finish against somebody like Gabriel Miranda, but if you're going to take the over on rounds, take the over 1.5. I'm really not liking the over 2.5. I do think that it could go to decision, but I like the value in the over 1.5. Give me Morgan to beat Gabriel Miranda, and I think this goes over 1.5. And we're going to go ahead and move along to the next fight, in which we have Kevin Jousset versus Bryan Battle. And man, is this a good fight against these two. I am hyped on this fight. I think Kevin Jousset and Bryan Battle are both great competitive fighters that are highly skilled. Kevin Jousset is a patient, calculated striker who is a good boxer. He's got a stiff, quick jab. He mixes up his shots to the head and to the body very well. He's got quick, snappy leg kicks. I think his takedowns is a little bit mediocre. I think he lacks in the grappling department a little bit. I think that's where Bryan Battle is going to have the advantage. I think Bryan Battle is actually going to win. I forgot to make my pick, but I'm picking Bryan Battle. I think he has underrated kickboxing. I think his smothering pressure style fighting is going to help him in this fight against somebody like Kevin Jousset. I think he's a quick, speedy fighter. I think Kevin Jousset is going to have a little bit of trouble in terms of speed with Bryan Battle, as well as his grappling. I think Bryan Battle's grappling is great. I think he maintains control of you really well, and I think he's going to have the obvious grappling advantage. I think that he's going to take this down to the ground where he has the ultimate grappling advantage, and I think he could ultimately submit Kevin Jousset. I really do. I think Bryan Battle could get this done on the ground. I think that in terms of striking, I think that Kevin Jousset is going to have the striking advantage, but I think that they're going to be very even on the feet. I think it's going to be a very slight advantage, if any, on the feet for Jousset. But give me Bryan Battle to submit Kevin Jousset. I think that he is going to take him down. I think he might have a little bit of trouble, but I think he's going to fare well in the grappling department and take Kevin Jousset down and find that neck. I really do. And let's go ahead and look at them on the scales. Look at Bryan Battle, looking absolutely jacked, healthy. And man, he looks completely different than he did a couple years ago. If you guys haven't seen, go look at some photos of him a couple years ago, and he made a complete change. He looks like Charles Oliveira now. It's crazy. And let's go ahead and look at Kevin Jousset, looking jacked, looking healthy. And man, oh man, is this going to be a battle between these two. I am hyped for this fight. Look at them facing off. And Jousset has a slight height advantage. But I think that Bryan Battle is going to fare very well in this fight. I think that if he has any trouble on the feet, he takes it to the ground and he shows he has the obvious grappling advantage. Let's go ahead and look at the odds on this fight. And Bryan Battle sitting at a negative 162. Kevin Jousset sitting at a plus 140. I like Bryan Battle. I think that there's a lot of value in the Bryan Battle money line. I like the over as well. I think these two are both tough competitors that are likely not chinny. I think that Bryan Battle could get this done via submission, and that is my call. Let's look at Bryan Battle via submission. Battle via this submission is sitting at a plus 450. I really do think this is live. I think he could take Jousset down and find that neck. I think he could outwork him and overwhelm and just smother a Kevin Jousset and find that neck. Give me Bryan Battle to beat a Kevin Jousset. And we're going to go ahead and move along to the next fight, in which we have a banger in William Gomis versus Joanderson Brito. And I got Joanderson Brito. I think that he is the better fighter all around. I think that Gomis is a similar style to Perez in the fact that he's a point fighter. He's got a clean kickboxing style. And he's a good striker that manages distance really well. But I think that that's not going to fare very well against somebody like Brito, who is a bully pressure fighter who's going to walk you down. He's got extremely powerful hands. He's a good grappler. He's not just good on the feet in the striking department. He's also a good grappler and good in the jiu-jitsu department. He looks very strong in the clinches. I think he's going to have the obvious grappling advantage in this fight. And I think he's also going to have the striking advantage. I think that Gomis is going to be able to tag him up a little bit and strike him from the outside. But I think that Joanderson Brito's speed is going to give Gomis a little bit of trouble. I think he's going to be able to enter the pocket and get out of there very quickly and not get tagged up by somebody like Gomis. Give me Joanderson Brito to beat a William Gomis. I really do think that he's going to bully William Gomis. And let's go ahead and look at them on the scales, in which we have Joanderson Brito. He's looking absolutely jacked, looking healthy, looking ready for war. And let's go ahead and look at William Gomis now. He's looking shredded. He's looking jacked. And in their face-off, let's look at their face-off. It was kind of weird. It seemed like Joanderson Brito was kind of trying to get a gauge of maybe Gomis' strength, trying to see if he can maybe bully him in terms of the grappling department, trying to like pull him and like see his strength. I don't know. It's very weird. And as you can see here, he kind of pulled on his like arm, trying to see if he can withstand it. I don't know. It's a little bit weird. But I think Joanderson Brito is going to be the stronger one out of the two. I think he's going to be the tougher fighter, and he's going to give William Gomis a tough battle. And these two had to be separated. It was, as you can see here, they had to be separated, and it was great. This is going to be a very, very interesting match. And let's go ahead and look at the odds on this matchup. Joanderson Brito is sitting at a negative 305. Gomis sitting at a plus 250. I think Joanderson is a great money line option as well as a great parlay adder. I think that he runs over somebody like William Gomis. I think that Joanderson Brito is a dog. I really do. I think he's a tough fighter and a durable fighter. I do see this going over 1.5. I think that Brito is live for a finish, but I think that these two are tough fighters. Give me Joanderson Brito to win this via decision. And let's go ahead and look at that. Brito, even inside the distance, sitting at plus 105. I think that this goes to decision, though. Brito to win by decision is sitting at a plus 225. I like those odds. I think that Brito wins by decision, and I think that's live. Give me Joanderson Brito to beat somebody in William Gomis. And let's go ahead and look at the next fight, in which is the co-main event of the night, and it is Nassourdine Imavov versus Brendan Allen. And man, I have been going back and forth with these two. I really have, but I gotta stick with my guy Nassourdine Imavov. I think that he's gonna be the more patient fighter and the better striker. I think that he's gonna have the obvious striking advantage. I think his takedown defense is a little bit suspicious to me. I think that if I'm going to be honest, I can't pick Nassourdine. I know I said I was going to, but I'm actually pick flipping. Give me Brendan Allen. Listen, Nassourdine, I looked at more footage. I had to keep going back because, dude, I was so hesitant on this fight. I was going back and forth between these two. And every time I looked at Nassourdine's fight, in his fight against Cannonier, he was getting worked on. He was getting controlled against the fence against Jared Cannonier, as well as in his fight against Roman, he got controlled against the fence in this match as well. I think that Brendan Allen is going to have the obvious grappling advantage. I think that in terms of striking, I think that, yes, Nassourdine is going to have the striking advantage, and he mixes up his shots very well, and he's a good, precise striker. But I think that his takedown defense, the fact that it's so suspicious, and that I think that his grappling isn't up to par or even close to somebody like Brendan Allen, give me Brendan Allen. I think Brendan Allen has good striking and is going to be able to fare very well on the feet against somebody like Nassourdine Imavov. And I think that if he has any trouble, like I said, he's going to go right to his dangerous grappling. He has dangerous submissions. He maintains control of you really well when he gets you down. He will not let you get up. He is an amazing grappler. I think he has quick hands. He has nice kicks. I think Brendan Allen could beat a Nassourdine Imavov, and I am pick flipping to Brendan Allen. Give me Brendan Allen to beat Nassourdine. I know I've been picking Nassourdine, but I think that Brendan Allen could get this done. I think that if he has any trouble on the feet against somebody like Nassourdine, I think that he takes him down to the ground and out-grapples him, overwhelms him, and just smothers him. I think Nassourdine has a clear-cut grappling disadvantage in the sense that he got controlled by the likes of Roman and somebody like Jared Cannonier, who is older, and yes, he did knock him out eventually, but still, he did get caught. He did get caught a couple times, and he did noticeably look worse in the grappling. I think somebody like Brendan Allen is going to showcase his striking, and he's a good striker, but he is a even better grappler, and that's where he's going to shine. Give me Brendan Allen to beat somebody in Nassourdine Imavov, and let's look at them on the scales. After the 150 photos of William Gomis and Joanderson Brito, there's Brendan Allen, and he looks jacked, he looks healthy, he looks ready for war. Man, I think that he's going to beat Nassourdine. I'm hyped for this fight. Look at Nassourdine, looking jacked, looking healthy, looking ready for war, and he was my pick, man. I think he's a great striker, but I think this is a case of striker versus grappler, and I'm going to take the grappler in this. I think that Brendan Allen's striking isn't going to be terrible. I think he's going to fare very well on the feet with the likes of Nassourdine. I think that there's not a clear-cut advantage in that department. I think that Brendan Allen could showcase his striking and his grappling. And let's go ahead and look at the... Oh, sorry. Let's hold on. Let's look at the face-off first. And then we're going to go ahead and jump over to the odds. I got a little hyped moving over to the odds too quickly. And man, oh man, am I hyped for this fight. And Nassourdine is sitting at a negative 210. He was sitting a little bit lower at a negative 240, but money has been coming in on Brendan Allen, and I think that Brendan Allen could get this done. I think he's a live dog, and I think the odds are a little bit wider than they should be. I think that this should be a lot closer. I think that Brendan Allen should be like a negative 130, negative 150, around that range, or plus 150, plus 130, in that range. And Nassourdine should be a negative 160 to negative 170, around there, somewhere around there. I think Brendan Allen is a live dog to get this done. Give me Brendan Allen to be a Nassourdine Imavov. I think that this goes over in rounds. I think that as the fight goes on longer, I think that it could fare better for Nassourdine, but I think that Brendan Allen is going to get this done. I think Brendan Allen could get the submission. I'm going Brendan Allen via submission. And that's sitting right at a plus 475, plus 600. Don't lack on this. I think that Allen could get the submission over somebody like Nassourdine Imavov. I think that he has the clear-cut grappling advantage. Give me Brendan Allen to be a Nassourdine Imavov. And we're going to go ahead and move to the main event. If you guys haven't, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into the main event in Renato Moicano versus Benoit Saint Denis. And I am hyped on this fight. I am really, really hyped on this fight. I am sticking with my guns. I still got Benoit Saint Denis. I think he gets rid of somebody in Money Moicano. I think that he is the better striker and the better grappler. I know Money Moicano has dangerous grappling and he has a grappling base, but I think that Benoit Saint Denis is a good striker with good grappling. His grappling is slept on. He has good grappling. He maintains control of you really well. He's strong in the clinches. He has dangerous submissions. I think he's a good grappler. I think he's a good pressure fighter, and I think he's going to apply pressure and overwhelm somebody like Moicano. Moicano got knocked down by somebody in Jalen Turner. I believe Benoit Saint Denis has hands just as good as Jalen Turner. I think he could end up knocking Moicano out, and that's what I have happening. I think Benoit Saint Denis knocks out Renato Moicano. I think Moicano is a patient fighter with decent striking and is a great grappler. He has the obvious grappling advantage, I think, but I think that Benoit Saint Denis, his grappling it could be up to par with Moicano, if I'm being honest. I really do think that it's up to par with Moicano. I think Moicano has the more dangerous submissions, but I think that Benoit Saint Denis is going to be the stronger fighter in terms of the clinches and stuff. I think he's going to be notably stronger. I think he's going to be the more precise striker and the harder puncher. Give me Benoit Saint Denis to overwhelm, outstrike, and maybe even out-grapple somebody in Moicano. And let's go ahead and look at them on the scales. Benoit Saint Denis looking jacked, looking happy, looking healthy. He doesn't have staph no more. He's looking ready for war, man. And I am happy to see him back, man. And let's go ahead and look at Moicano. He's looking happy. He's looking healthy. He's looking a little blazed, but yeah, who knows? Who knows? And let's go ahead and look at them facing off. And man, oh man, they look pretty much even in terms of height. I think Moicano might have a slight height advantage, but they look pretty even. I think that this is going to be a banger fight in which Moicano is going to lose to Benoit Saint Denis, man. Let's go ahead and look at the odds on this fight. And Benoit Saint Denis sitting at a negative 280, and Moicano, sitting at a plus 240, sitting at a plus 240. I think Benoit Saint Denis is negative 255 for Benoit Saint Denis and plus 215 for Moicano. I think Saint Denis can beat a Moicano, even knock him out. I'm going with Denis to knock out Moicano. I really do think that could happen. I think that Jalen Turner, if he can put Moicano down, I think Saint Denis can do it. And if he has to, he will follow him up to the ground and grapple with him. If he has to, maintaining control and laying that ground and pound that is devastating from Saint Denis. I think that this goes under. I think that Benoit Saint Denis catches Moicano. And let's look at Benoit Saint Denis by knockout. That's my call for this fight. And that is sitting right at a negative 115 I don't know why this has that at plus 900, but it's sitting at a negative 115. And I see this really live. I think that St. Denis could win by knockout. I could even see him winning by submission if he knocks down Moicano, then instantly grabs that back and takes that neck. But I honestly think that the more likely and live option is St. Denis by knockout. And like I said before, if you maybe don't want to take as much risk, maybe you want to go St. Denis wins inside the distance. I see that as very, very live. I think that he knocks him out, like I said, but maybe he gets them submission. That's sitting at a negative 200. I like that as well. St. Denis to win inside the distance, negative 200. Give me St. Denis to beat Money Moicano in a brawl, but I think that he could end up knocking him out. Give me Benoit St. Denis to knock out Renato Moicano. And that's it for today, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and peace.